Hey, it's Ken White, host of the Southside Unicorn Show. Got another video for you. This one is, I guess I'll title it, The Price of a Cheeseburger. Price of a cheeseburger. How much do they cost? You can get one for $1. You can get them as expensive as $15 a burger. I've been to places where, in fact, here's something funny. Back in the day when I used to run to Las Vegas like it was a thing to do, there was a place called the Pepper Mill. I think it's still there. And if I'm not mistaken, they had a hamburger that cost $125. I bought one. But the trick to it is, it's not the burger that costs you $125. It's that nice bottle of wine that comes with your cheeseburger that makes the price so. But yeah, the price of a cheeseburger. I'm remembering back when I was a child growing up on the south side of Chicago. And my mama and I would go to a place called Woolworths. And at Woolworths, back in the day, this is way back in the day, they had a restaurant inside, cooking up cheeseburgers and all kind of stuff. And man, that stuff would smell so good. Whoo! We going in there to get a couple things, maybe a pair of little shoes for me or whatever. And I used to always be like, Mama, I want one of them cheeseburgers. Man, I'm a kid. What do I know? I didn't realize my mama couldn't afford to buy that cheeseburger. And I'm putting that kind of pressure on her, but I'm a kid. That's what all these kids do. They see LeBron James shoes or Nike trying to get something going on, and they put these commercials out there, and then our children come pressuring us to buy $200 gym shoes. I just wanted a cheeseburger. And so there we are one day, and my mom was exceptionally upbeat. She, there was some pep in her step. Now that I'm older, I realize that's because she had gotten some money. She had come up, and that day was a good day. And that's how it is growing up, in the south side of Chicago. Some days are good, some days are bad. Some days you got money, some days you don't. Well, this day we had money. And my mama was like, boy, I'm gonna buy you one of them cheeseburgers. I was like, whoa, man, let's do it. Let's make this happen. And so we go up to the counter. My mama orders the cheeseburger, and this lady put it in a brown bag. I'm like, no, don't put my burger in no brown bag. I'm having this right now. So I jumped right up to that counter. They had these nice, I don't know if it was pleather, plastic, I don't know what it was, but they were nice, round, red, leather, like tops with all this chrome on the bottom. The seats even looked good. The counter was great, So I belly up. I jump up there, take my burger out the bag, and, before my mama can even say 1, 2, 3, I'm at the counter. And I'm getting ready to nosh down on that burger, right? And I look to my left, and there's this big, fat white guy. And I'm a kid, but the look in his face was so filled with hate. There was so much disgust and rage in his eyes. He scared me. I looked over at him, I was like, what's wrong with this man? What did I do? And my mama grabbed me by the corner of my shirt and yanked me up out of that chair. She said, boy, get away from there. And she pulled me over to this corner, and the waitress was sitting there with a hand on her hip. She literally froze like she was playing Hillary Clinton's freeze your game. I realized that I must have done something wrong. So there I sit in the corner, eating my cheeseburger. I never realized, that my mama was working 16-hour days. I was a latchkey kid, and time was like, I was oblivious to it. I didn't make the connection that the reason I was able to get that cheeseburger is because my mama had picked up another job, and, we had some extra money. But I sure felt funny sitting in that corner, eating that cheeseburger. Now, flash forward, every summer, I used to go down south to Blytheville, Arkansas. When school would let out for the summer, I could stay home for the first week, but you better bet, me and my cousins, we all got loaded up in the station wagon, and my mama and her sister, they were rolling us to Blytheville, Arkansas, through Effingham, Mississippi, the Effingham Bridge and all that stuff. And we spent the summer down south, and I had gotten used to it, except for them years when when them damn bugs would show up, oh God, they had the nasty little red eyes and whatnot. They come around once every 7 years. Those are the years I hated. Hated going down south. Ring, 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 ring. So anyway, we're down south. And sometimes my cousins will go over to their other grandmother's house. Because see, they had their mom and dad. My auntie was married, and she married a man from her hometown. So there were times my cousins would go on the other side of town and spend a week over there with their grandmother, which left me with my one and only granddad that I had, right? And just like this park bench that you see behind me, except see, my grandfather was in the construction, he was an engineer and all that good stuff, him and his brothers. And he built the picnic bench in front of his house. It was made of wood, just like that one back there. It's made of metal. So we sitting on the bench, and he's about to give me his old transistor radio, because I'm telling you, boring. Sometimes, down south, ain't much of nothing going on, and them kids was slow. So, when you from Chicago, you're like, what? So my granddad was giving me his radio, and if you held it just right, and I'm not playing it, it happened every now and then, mainly in the afternoons. If you held it just right, you could get WVON or WLS, and I'm like, straight in here. But on this particular time, my granddad is sitting behind me on the park bench. I'm here and he's behind me. And he always called me Sonny Boy. And he's was one of the strongest, smartest men I ever knew in my life. And when we'd go through town, my chest would stick out an extra inch, because wherever we went, hi, Mr. White. How you doing, Mr. White? They're not talking to me, even though my last name is White, because I'm a kid. They're talking about my granddad, And he would always walk me up to them and be like, yeah, this is Lady's little boy, and it's my grandson, and, we went and got a haircut and stuff like that. So let me fast forward, because it's all still about the cheeseburger. One day he was talking, and you could tell he was just talking. He was reliving something. And he said there was a time in his life that if he had tried to vote, that it killed him dead. That he knew people that never got a chance to vote. Now, some of my family members have, set me straight on how he managed to, get to vote in his timeline, because ultimately he did get to. But as a child, he's talking to me about this. And I know the weather would change real fast in Arkansas. And so when I felt these little droplets on the back of my neck, I'm thinking, man, it's raining, but I'm going to sit here and listen to my granddad. It wasn't raining. It wasn't raining. Strongest man I ever saw had some tears going down his eyes. And he said, Sonny Boy, you promised me that you will always vote, that you will never not vote. And what am I gonna say? I want my granddaddy happy. I'm like, okay, granddad, I promise. I kept that promise. Hell, I've worked the polls. I'm going to do it this time. I'm signing up with Donald J. Trump's program to be a poll watcher. Because some people want to say the vote don't matter. Look, I have politician friends in my life that I know personally who won their elections by as few as 3 votes, as few as 5 votes. Guy test number 1, check it out, you'll see I'm telling you the truth. Oh yeah, your vote matters. It matters a lot. And if it matters a lot to you, you'll do what it takes to hold on to that right to vote. You're not gonna be out there committing no felonies. You're not gonna be out there being a problem to this nation, selling drugs to human beings, murdering, the things that you have to do to catch a felony. So now, here we are, Florida. LeBron James, a couple other billionaires, they want to buy people's vote. They want to pay for their fines and make sure that they're okay to vote. Now, I understand that 10% of those people were they're still veterans. I understand all that. People got all kind of excuses they want to make about why it's okay for LeBron James and Bloomberg to commit felonies and buy people's votes. No, y'all. You got to remember, and I'll be quick, you got to remember, and I want you, be this with me for a minute. Be this with me. Be a freedom fighter. On your way to Selma, Alabama. Be a freedom fighter. On your way down to Mississippi like those 3 college students did. Be them. Knowing, and they're trying to work themselves up and say, yeah, man, when we get back, we'll have done a really good thing, making sure that African Americans have the right to vote. Some of those people knew they weren't coming back, but they knew that they had to go. And so they got in a Pontiac Bonneville in 1963, yeah, and they never came back. They gave up their lives so that I could have the right to vote. They gave up their lives so that African Americans could be enfranchised, not disenfranchised, not treated like less than. That vote is very important. And yet LeBron James and Bloomberg want to buy your vote. They think that if they pay off your bills and your debts, that you just gonna go ahead and vote for Biden. Biden should come out and denounce that. If he were an American, if he had respect for the black vote, but he's silent, y'all, because he's hoping that it works. He don't care how he gets your vote, and because he doesn't care how he gets your vote, that tells you he doesn't care about you. If we continue to let the Democrat Party do what they've done ever since I was a child, trying to eat my cheeseburger, the price of a cheeseburger, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be very, very high. We must charge LeBron James and Bloomberg with crimes. The rule of law is the only thing that's going to save us. Just because, oh man, a big old bug just tried to hook up on a brother. Just because they think they have the moral mantle, that don't give you the right to run around and break every law you can think of. And it's not so much about the law, everybody. It's about what LeBron James and Bloomberg think about black people and Latinos, because they specifically said in their writings they're targeting blacks and Latinos to pay their bills so they can do what? Vote for Biden. That should be a wrap, y'all. Unless you that hungry, unless that cheeseburger looks that damn good to you. Because I'm going to tell you, I find it very ironic that as a child, I experienced that with that cheeseburger. And as a grown man, I bought a cheeseburger for 150 bucks. You know what I mean? But that cheeseburger tasted damn good. Both of them, actually. But I worked my ass off for that other one. You know what I'm saying? And my mama worked her ass off for that one. Anything you get for free, chances are it's not worth it. I learned one thing. All money ain't good money. So to even you who are in Florida, who may look up and think that Bloomberg and LeBron James is going to pay off all your stuff and you'll be allowed the honor of voting again, the choice will be yours, man. If voting in America means something to you, and I mean voting for America, not for the destruction of it, don't be so stupid. If all that means something for you, then you get yourself an account anywhere and you start putting money aside and you pay for your fines your damn self. You tell LeBron James and Bloomberg to take a damn hike. And brother, I will lock arms with you any day of the week and stand proudly I proudly stand up next to you and defend her still today. Because you know what I'm saying? What is it? I love this land. God bless the USA. If you do it that way, chuck up. You got my respect and love and admiration. You take that money from Bloomberg and LeBron James, I can hear the chains rattling. Can you? Clink, clink, clink. You may as well shuffle over to the damn polling booth because they own you. Go ahead and pay your own fees. Vote. And if you do vote for Biden after that, That would be your right now, wouldn't it? But don't eat that cheeseburger, because it is not a tasty burger.